I had my first 5 years played for 5 different coaches, 4 or 5 different cities, and then finally found a blessing in coming to Detroit, and then in turn playing for not Rick Carlisle first, but Larry Brown.
Mm-hmm.
And his question was, how different was it? I mean, the way my career had gone, I don't think none of you guys' career probably went like mine's at the start. And it was a big difference, playing for Larry Brown and coming in there, and practice was different. The field was different. He had championship aspirations for our team, and that was different. Not making the playoffs, maybe go second round this time or Eastern Conference Finals this time. It was championship, period. And that's all we talked about. That's all we prepared for. And it was just different. And it changes the mindset and the trajectory of the team in an instant.
When that coach comes in, you be like, oh, we're going to win it. You know it right away.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Because what they have to do, and Rudy T did this, honestly, he was able to make everyone feel the same way every day.
Mm-hmm.
Like, a lot of coaches, they don't have that consistency. They say, okay, no one's above the team. We have to stay together. We got to lock arms. And as soon as there's some adversity, he pulls the arms apart, because he'll make a decision that pulls the arm. But the great coaches don't care if they get fired. They don't care if they get a raise. They don't care if they're coaching in a rec. They're going to have the same philosophy if they're coaching a third-grade team or an NBA team, and they're going to stick with it.
And the biggest thing, Kenny,
and players love that.
Is you're right. And great players want to be coached. I think the greatest coaches coach the best players the hardest. And that's been my experience, and I just believe that. And you look at Popovich right now. I mean, he is on Tim Duncan and Tony Parker worse than anybody else.
Shaq will give it to you, right? But you got to fight you.
Yeah.
If you don't fight you, as a
him.
great player, Shaq, did you not respect the coaches much?
I would have to say yes. Phil stayed on me. Phil was really a master psychologist. He would interview you a couple hours, pass out books on, what type of person he thought you represented. He gave me a book on Friedrich Nietzsche. You probably don't know about Friedrich Nietzsche because you went to UNC. So let me
give you a Nietzsche quote.
Yes, Nietzsche was so crazy that he actually was a genius. So that's how Phil thought of me. He thought I was crazy, but he thought I was a genius. So Phil knew what buttons to push to tick me off. He knew what buttons to push to tick Rick off. Like, I remember one time he didn't play Rick for like 4 straight games. But then when he played Rick went on a roll. So he was definitely a button pusher. But you're right. Like, if you didn't tick me off, then I really didn't respect you. And I couldn't play for you.
And you pushed him every year. We pushed, and you particularly pushed him more and more.
Yeah, more and more.
By year 4, I think we thought we knew the triangle better than Phil.
Yeah,
which got us in trouble.
Isaiah, I appreciate your patience because you've been sitting on a thought for a while.
It's all good.
But go.
Well, it's all good because it basically, reinforces what I was thinking in terms of the great coaches. They teach from the neck up. They're more about teaching you the game of life and applying the game of life to the basketball court. The bad coaches, they only teach you from the neck down. They only concerned with your jump shot, with your inside pivot, with your pump fake, and
That's a good point.
Is trust the key ingredient, or one of the key ingredients in a championship mix?
I think so.
Or Smitty, go ahead.
I think when you start to look at championships, I'm looking at all these guys and the team I play for, I think the best players have to buy into the culture, to what the coach is selling, what the GM is selling. If they don't buy in, it's obviously hard for everybody else to buy in. I think that championship culture starts with the best player, and then that's when it trickles down.
Yeah, I think the culture is big, but just going back to something too as well. That couch over there with Isaiah and Shaq, they had the pressure, would they win as individuals?
Mm-hmm.
We had the pressure as would we win as a team.
Right.
So when people always said, like, will Shaq win another one? They never said, will the Lakers win? Like, how many will Shaq win? So that pressure is way different. How many will Isaiah win? Way different than will your team, because you can always, when you have that night where you kind of just, you play good, you didn't play extraordinary, you didn't play poorly, you can fade into the paint.